Good morning, Sunday satsang. Lovely to be here with you. Today it is raining, so we're here. My little space is covered. My sister's here, my partner's here, my partner's grandson is here, so there may be some life happening, yoga practicing happening, so you'll hear that. And there's rain, so I have a beautiful yoga mat over the top of our practice space. But as we come together today on this Sunday for this Sunday satsang, remind us that in your registration you have a PDF form that's an invitation for you to get the most out of your practice. It gives you a way in which that you might use the asana practices more completely. It gives you ways in which you might prepare yourself. It gives you ways in which you might prepare your space. It gives you ways in which that you can get the most out of these practices. We are in the middle of Cervantino Festival. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of fireworks. There's a lot of church bells because it's Sunday in Mexico. And as we come together for this particular Sunday satsang, this is a practice and a teaching that revolves around what we call in the Vedic tradition the Pancha Maha Yagyas, or the 5 great devotions. And so as we're all joining in and we're coming together from all places of the world at all different times and spaces and from different places, we share together in the student teacher prayer in call and response. So find yourself in a comfortable seat as we join our voices in call and response in this traditional Vedic mantra or tool of the mind to bring our attention to our practice, to bring our attention to our community in the light of truth and all things good. And so call and response in this way. We send the breath down and out the body on the exhale, inhaling through the crown. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Bhavatu, Vavatu, Sahanau, Sahanau, Bhunaktu, Bhunaktu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karavavahai, Karavavahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Ma Vidvisha, Ma Vidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Feeling the vibration of that mantra, that tool of the mind in our bodies, in our beings, in all 5 layers of who we are, physical, mental, emotional, energetic, higher aspects of ourselves, and the divine source from which we come. This is just a reminder that we come together to work together and to play together. We come together to practice yoga together. And if some way and by some happenstance we rub against each other in a way that causes friction or heat, may we remember that we are all one and the same, that I am another face of you, and that we come together in light and love and grace to be together. This is yoga. This is the practice. I'm the teacher, you're the student. You're the teacher, I'm the student. All that is around us is teaching us, it is giving us an opportunity to practice our yoga and to come together in the light of this oneness. So I want to speak a little bit as we enter in, as yoga to see yoga as a spiritual path, because for me, the reason that I come to teach, the reason that I come to the mat at all, the reason that I've ever really come to the mat is because it opens me to be in a place where I feel more deeply connected to Source and I show up better. I think I'm looking at my sister. I think I'd be a more difficult person if I didn't practice yoga. Yo creo que es posible, yo voy a estar más difícil si yo no estaba practicando yoga. So, it's just, we use these practices, we use the satsang, we use the teachings, we use the mantra, we use the asana to help clear the way so we can find integration, so we can have less reaction, less frequency of reaction, less intensity of reaction, and quicker recovery time. This is just the nature of the journey. We're human, we're sticky, we're murky, we're muddy, we're just laden with ignorance, doubt, and error, and it's happening all the time. So how do I keep returning, finding my way back again and again and again to that place where everything is all right? They say here in Mexico, todo está bien, todo está bien. Everything is good, everything is good. That's yoga, that's harmony, that's that reintegration. So yoga as a spiritual path is looking at everything, all walks of life, seeing if we can release our grip on the binding likes and dislikes and feel ourselves more deeply connected to the Source. The mat can be your altar. It can be the place where you alter your physical body. It can be the place where you alter your consciousness. And it can be the place where you lay down everything that you know within your own character, within your own being, is part of who you are. It is part of your wholeness. And at the same time, it's not serving you in any given moment. This is yoga as a spiritual path. And these 5 great devotions are the way in which that we can every day use our mat practice, our life force, our hands, our heart, our words, our dollars, our voting capacity, however we vote, with words, with our feet, with our hands, with our money, with our energy, with the work that we do in the world. These 5 great devotions, the Pancha Maha Yagyas, are also considered to be the 5 great sacrifices. So interestingly, what we devote ourselves to is also how we are sacrificing ourselves. So therefore, this might not be what I want, but I'm going to give in and of myself in a way that allows for me to be in service. And there's 5 ways in which we do this. The first of which, and I'll just speak these in English, there's a Sanskrit word for all of them. The first of which is our family and ancestry, which is why I chose this one for today. We are here, I'm here with 2 out of 3 of my sisters, and I have 2 brothers also back in Minnesota. And as my teacher says, if you want to know how your yoga practice is working, spend a week with your mommy tsunami. and watching our mother age and being with our mother, your mother, my mother, the mother at large, we learn quite quickly where our buttons are pushed and how we can relax, 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 and be of service, and do our best not to push buttons in any way that we can. And to remember that we're here to serve our families. We're here to serve and to be in deep gratitude for our ancestors, for all that they did, for all the hardship through which they went, to create the life that you have today, to create this opportunity to live in the country in which you live, to have the opportunity to travel, to be able to have the resources and a warm bed and a roof over your head as we had pouring down rain at 3 o'clock this morning. The gratitude of everyone who has walked before us to bring us to this point. So the first of which is our family and ancestors. That's the first devotion. How do I devote myself to my family and offer gratitude every day to my ancestors, to anyone who's walked before me? The second of which is to our fellow human beings. Our fellow human beings, how do I offer myself in loving service? The way in which that we do this through the Vedic tradition first is through looking at, and I'm going to bring more modern concept in is through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like food and water, shelter, right? Community. How do I first do what I can to ensure that there's clean water? How do I ensure that I'm offering food? What does that look like to my fellow human being, to my neighbor in need? It's not about handing out dollars. It's not necessarily, it can be that. But the root of it is, how do I give? How do I look eye to eye with my fellow human being and offer them food? How do I give to them something that they need? How do I give something of my heart that's going to serve them? How do I serve them through seeing them as love, recognizing them regardless of whether or not they have a drug addiction, they're living on the streets, they vote for someone that we don't believe in, they have different beliefs on abortion or trade with China or whatever it may be. It's irrelevant. Or the borders in Mexico. How do we love and serve our fellow human being? The more that we see them as love, everyone as love, the more that we give of our hands, our hearts, our service to our fellow human beings, the more in which that we all, them included, us included, relax into our hearts and see the union within. So ancestors and family is number one, fellow human beings is number two, the third of which are your teachers. And it's any teacher who has given you something that has brought you closer to light and love and truth, that has allowed for you the heart space for you to relax and to feel that you are whole and that you are enough, that raises you up into the highest expression of yourself. How do we offer gratitude to our teachers? When you look out at whoever those teachers may be, there are so many ways in which we can offer gratitude. Can we offer gratitude through words? Write a kind note, say thank you, tell them how your life has been changed as a result of the work that they're doing. How is it that we help support them? The whole purpose of a donation-based class, that comes through the lineage of my teacher. It's about how does this serve me in my heart, and how do I offer back that equally to the teacher and to the teachings, so that he then in turn can offer it to her teacher and her teachings. So as I'm continually in connection with my teachers, I'm offering to my teachers all the time ways in which that I can give them more of what it is that they may desire and they may need, so that they can pay it forth and offer freely. It's a well of fluid waters, of Ganga waters flowing. All the teachers, an elementary school teacher writing a note, writing a letter, reaching out, finding someone in your community. In the moment when someone touches you deeply and makes great impact in your life, how do you say, thank you so much? How do you see the way in which someone treats a stranger on the street, and instead of continuing to walk by and say, oh gosh, that was so beautiful, how do you stop and reach out to them, eye to eye, connect heart to heart, eye to eye, voice to voice, and say, I just witnessed what you did with that stranger, and I just want to acknowledge how that touched my heart. Thank you for being a reflection of love in this world. How about that, right? And similarly, you see the way a parent treats a child. Can you do the same in and through? It is that. It is this. It is the way in which that we offer our hands and our hearts in service to our teachers. So knowing that, you have your ancestors in your family, you have your fellow human beings, you have your teachers. Then you have plants, animals, and nature. How do we care for them? How do we see the divinity in them, in the rivers? How do we see it in the sky? How do we see it in the air that we breathe? How do we lovingly protect those aspects of ourselves and that which is nourishing us, these earthen lands? How is it that I'm voting? I'm in this beautiful city here in Mexico, and I'm conscious of where I spend my dollars, because I do not necessarily want to contribute or devote, have a devotion be to the continued harming of the land nearby, or the continued harming of the animals, or the continued the meat industry and the way in which that it's present. Where do I buy my eggs? Where do I buy my meat? Where do I buy and what do I buy off of the streets as a way in which to nourish myself through taking care of the plants and the animals, the waters, the land? So this is a devotion, the four of the 5 great devotions. And it is a sacrifice, is it not? It is a sacrifice. If I give you money, if I give you food, if I give you my hands and heart, instead of me getting this other thing that would be just for me, a new pair of shoes or a new bracelet or, redoing my kitchen, if I'm offering those things to you or to my fellow human being or to someone else, this is part of the great devotion. The 5th of which is divinity. So you have your ancestors and family, that's number 1. You have your fellow human being, that's number 2. You have your teachers, that's number 3. You have the plants, animals, and the natural world, the water, the mountains, the air, quality, all that is. That's number 4. And then the 5th devotion is divinity. How do I give everything back to the ultimate giver? How do I remember that I do not have a right to the fruit of my action? This comes from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Song of the Lord, that I do not have a right to the fruit of my actions, that I only have a right to my actions, that everything I am doing is an expression of divinity, and none of this will I take with me. None of this will I carry with me into whatever it is that is next. Excuse me. And then finally, I offer that all of these 5 devotions, these 5 sacrifices, right? Ishvara, the last of the 5th one, divinity. Ishvara is a word in Sanskrit, but it is translated into whoever you worship. So if you're a nature worshiper, if you worship Shiva or Ganesh or Allah or Jesus or the Buddha or the one that all that is, or universe or spirit or God, whatever word you use, whatever it is that relaxes you into your heart, that is the one to which you offer everything back. That is the one that we are constantly saying, no matter what I do, I am in high service. My life is service. My life force is service. Nothing is mine. This body is not mine. This house is not mine. This community is not mine. This money is not mine. This name is not mine. This education is not mine. It is all the grace. It is all the grace of divinity just moving through me, acting as if it is, in my case, Britt. You as Cindy or Pam or Hector or whoever you may be, this is the way divinity moves in and through. So these are the 5 great devotions, the 5 great sacrifices. In that, I want to also offer that this all comes through the Vedic tradition. This all comes through Vedanta, which is kind of like the cliff notes of the 4 great books of wisdom that we follow. And I want to also say that there are many traditions that we follow that give us insight into the one. And there's a good reason that coming from the 14th century, we have the grace of these Sufi poets, of Hafez, who is considered to be a bad boy. Even today in Iran, they still want to just roll over his grave and just put him away because they're not fond of the way that he expressed his devotion to the divine. And Rumi, we know Rumi, and Coleman Barks is a great translator of Rumi. And so in this way, I just want to share a poem from Rumi and a poem from Hafez, these 2 great men that felt as though everything that they offered, every dance, every prayer, every conversation, every relationship, everything was in service to divinity. So first, a poem from Hafez. It's from a book called The Subject Tonight is Love. The name of the poem is You Say, I Say. You say, I say, how can I find God? I say, the friend is the lining in your pocket, the curved pink wall in your belly. Sober up, steady your aim, reach in. Turn the universe and this beautiful rascal inside out. You say, that sounds preposterous. I don't believe God is in there, in the lining of my pocket, or the curved pink wall of my belly. I say, well then, maybe you should try the Himalayas and get naked and pretend to be an exalted yogi and eat bark and snow for 40 years. And then you might think, ah. And this is all. And then one from Rumi. I love this giving of my life to you, to God, to divinity, to Ishvara. I love this giving of my life to you, or to anyone who knows someone who knows you. So do you get that? I love this giving of my life to you, or to anyone who knows someone who knows you. Caught as I am in your curling hair, inside your cashmere rich eyes, I stand up, and this one of me turns into 100 of me. They say I circle around you. Nonsense. I circle around me. Burning with longing fire, wanting to sleep with my head on your doorsill. My living is composed only of this trying to be in your presence. Something opens our wings. Something makes boredom and hurt and loneliness disappear. Someone fills the cup in front of you, and you taste only the sacred. So we move into our asana practice now. We'll find our way to our mats. Find our way to our mats. Bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Pam, if you want to move your mat closer, so you can, because you are that way too, because this is here. No, estás bien. Estás bien. Sí, just however you want. I'm talking to my sister. So again, this is in your PDF, but I'm just here to remind you that this is largely the way I practice when I have teachers that I love and that with whom I study, and their physical capacity is slightly beyond mine. And I love that. So that means that 20% of the class or so, I find myself witnessing, looking closely, seeing how I might shift or change or make adjustments to move closer to a particular expression of a pose. But in the same way, I'm just wanting the practice to be an opportunity for me to have higher potential and to move into that potential. So you don't have to do it all, is the big story. So in this way, I'm going to see me blow my nose. Thanks. Sniffling. Mexican Kleenexes right here, aka toilet paper. All right, so finding our way into our comfortable seat, whatever that may look like. We're going to raise the arms up and above the head, full inhale. Take those arms up skyward, inhaling, let the eyes look to the sky, feeling as though you are a channel through which divinity flows. The Pancha Mahayagyas, we devote this practice, our asana practice, to these 5 great devotions, knowing that we are here because our ancestors walked before us, because our teachers are here to serve us, because our mamas took care of us, because the waters were pure enough and food pure enough for us to grow, and because we were supported by our communities, our neighbors, our fellow students in this earth school. We release the right hand down and raise the left arm up and over the head. Go ahead and just reach up and over, spiraling heart center upward toward the sky. Big inhale. As you're ready, come all the way up and over to the other side, shifting. Feeling how the heart center is open, expanding. Feeling that rib cage reach up, the breath fills us. You're connected deeply to the earth and to the heavens and to the world around you, always and in all ways. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring those hands to the crown of the head and just let the head draw downward just a bit here. Inhale, take both arms up again. We're going to bring those hands down onto the earth. Go ahead and shift your weight back. Hook those toes under and stand on your toes. Jay, can you get that clock and set it in front? Oh, you want the time isn't right. Is it? You want it right? Sure. We're going to ground through the feet here, and I'm just going to rise on up to my fingertips and open in and up through the heart center. Nice. Standing on those toes, I'm going to go ahead and just bring my arms up to my knees if that works. If I need to sit down, I know some of you are, I think there's sweet Dr. Mary Lynn O'Brien is with us, and in her way, she's here. And she had a knee replacement this week, so she's very likely not in this pose with us. Big inhale, exhale, bring the hands down onto the earth. You're going to send your tail up to the sky. Just feel yourself in a forward fold. Walk your feet open just a bit, perhaps a little bit wider than your hips, perhaps the width of your mat. Soften through the knees and let the body weight shift side to side. Feel how the navel draws in. And then we allow the crown of the head to weigh heavy. We're simply going to fold the arms, hold the elbows, come to center, come to a moment of stillness here at the midline. And then as you're ready, go ahead and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Nice. We take those arms up and above the head, full inhale. Exhale, bring the hands back and behind the body. So you're going to interlace behind you and open through heart center here. Pedal through the feet. Let the eyes look out over the horizon and then tuck the chin gently. Swallow a couple of times. Swallowing is a key point in your practice to know that energy is flowing. If at any time your head is in a position where you cannot swallow, you've lost the flow of energy. Release those arms. We're going to step to the top of our mats, right on up to the top of the mat. So top of the mat here, big toes closer than the heels, and we send the breath down and out the body. Rise to the tippy toes and press down through the ball mounds of the feet. So what often happens is when we rise to our tippy toes, we collapse to the outside edges of the feet. So I'm inviting you to push out through that ball mound of the foot, right here. So as you push through that part of the foot, whether I'm standing to get balance here or I'm rooting down through my feet and pressing down into the earth through that midline, that is like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. As I squeeze and the energy moves down, my crown rises, ascends. So that's what I'm feeling for. Rise and release here a few times. Opening the palms to the sides, and then I inhale and take the arms skyward. Big inhale, arc back gently. Feel as though the small of the back is lifting up and off of the buttocks. So I'm not folding myself over and scrunching through the low back. I'm feeling the length on that back side. And here I check, can I swallow? If I cannot, I want to change the position of my head. Most often that's just bringing the chin slightly closer to the throat. Inhale here, and then exhale. Send the buttocks back, lengthen through the belly as I forward fold. Releasing down. The belly rests on the thighs, crown of the head releases, back of the neck is long. I feel the body release here. I'm going to go ahead and step the right leg back. This is the sun side of the body opening back. Keep those toes curled under and the heel elevated on that right leg. I feel the rib cage long. I want to feel that my spine is extending out long and away. I bend through the left knee just a bit more. Crown of the head extends away from the right heel. I'm going to bring my hand to the crest of my hips. Slowly I rise up. You choose whether there's a bend in that back knee. I like to have a bend in the back knee so that I can keep the pelvis in agreement. Floating the arms up. This is how I feel for the flow of energy. Inhale, rising inward and upward through the crown. As I'm ready, I'm going to exhale and twist into the bent front leg. So I just rotate a little bit, draw energy in and up through the pubis, feeling as though the energy is ascending here. My arms are horizontal as I am able, and perhaps my eyes contract back, and I bend that front knee into a 90-degree angle. I release both arms, let them weigh heavy. Inhale, lengthen through both legs. Exhale, bring the hands down to either side of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen through the heart. Exhale, send the left leg back into a downward facing dog. I pedal from foot to foot here. A couple of audible sighs. Inhale. 2 more. One more time. Inhale in and through plank pose. I hover the shoulders forward of the wrists and draw the navel center in. I want to feel as though the line between my armpits is long and expansive. So there's an expansion here through the chest. I'm not rounding like an arc from hand to hand. This is broad. I feel how the navel center draws in and I rock forward of the fingertips, shoulders in front of the fingertips and back. When I go back the next time, I soften the knees to the earth and I'm going to allow my chin and my chest to touch down in the front line of my hands. Now, as I'm here on my chest, I lift my feet, my bum is up, and perhaps I can lift my arms. This gets easier. If you feel like you're being stuffed into a small box. Bring your hands down by your rib cage. Release your feet, let your belly surrender down. Wag your tail side to side. Inhale, rise in and up. Through cobra, exhale, release down. Again, can you swallow through the full length of your cobra? Exhale down. Inhale, rise. Exhale down. Now we're going to hook those toes under. Inhale, send the tail to the sky. Pedal from foot to foot. I'm going to go ahead and float that left leg up to the sky and open the left hip gently. So if I imagine that my hands are on the face of a clock and my right hand is about at 12:30, almost 1 o'clock, my left hand is just going to touch out to 9 o'clock. Perhaps the weight remains primarily on that right hand, and I'm on the fingertips of the left hand. Extending through right leg, head is heavy, belly is opening. I bring the left hand back, align with the right hand, square the hips, inhale. Bring the left knee into the brow, round the spine. Inhale, send the left leg back up. Bring the left knee into the brow, or belly, or nose, just reaching it in and up. And then from here, I'm going to lift the rib cage up and step the left foot down between my hands. Sometimes we need to lift the left hand, get a hold of that foot, and help it. It's all right. You're laying down muscle memory. High in the ball of that back foot, we bring our hands in and up to the crest of the hips. Opening in and up through the front line of the body, we float both arms up to the sky. Again, choosing what you do in that back knee. I'm offering that if you bend that back knee, it's going to give you a little bit more fluidity. If you could imagine that your pelvis could swallow, you'd want it not to be in an overextended position in any aspect. Yeah, we can bring those hands to the ribs, that's beautiful, and just draw the rib cage back a bit. Similarly, the head slides back like a quarter on a counter, just subtly. Raise those arms up, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to the crest of the hips, lengthen out long. Bring the hand down on either side of the foot. Lengthen the rib cage long. We take the right foot and step it in to join the left. Pedal through the feet. Inhale, hands come to the shin line, lengthen through the heart center. Exhale, crown of the head releases. Inhale, soften through the knees as we rise all the way up. Exhale, release the arms back and behind. Interlacing, opening through heart center here. Full extension, we can swallow. Just noticing, you don't have to change a thing, but notice which thumb is crossing over the other. Just noticing. So I'm noticing my left thumb is on top. I'm just noticing that. Because when we come to it again, we'll want the other thumb on top, whichever is your other. Release the arms down. Inhale, sweep the arms up and above the head, full inhale. That arc back is there for you. You can swallow. Exhale. Tail reaches back. Release. Cascade down. Crown of the head releases back, but the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gazed forward. Exhale, now that left leg steps back. Good work here. Inhaling. So I lengthen through the spine. I want to imagine that I could bring light between each of the vertebrae along my spine. Rise to the fingertips. Feel the crown of the head reach out and away. Left heel reaching back, long and strong. I'm going to bring those hands right up into the crest of the hips and press the hips away as I draw the crown of the head away from the heel of the left foot. But I'm aware of the attention I'm placing on the crown and that left heel. Then I'm going to draw the energy in and up. I might soften through that left knee to spring load it a little bit, press through the right foot, and lift up. Nice work. Right here, perineum is engaged. Energy's in and up through the core of the base. Inhale, float the arms skyward. Exhale here and rotate into that front knee. Feeling those arms out nice and long. Perhaps your eyes can track back. Energy out through the middle finger. That's your fire finger. Breathing, every exhale releasing. The arms melt down. We inhale, float the arms upward. We exhale, bring the hands down to the earth, and we step the right foot back to join the left. We come to that plank pose here, hovering body weight forward and back. Remembering that we're looking for a straight line from armpit to armpit. Hovering forward, we're going to release forward, release back, tuck, and release knees down. And then chest comes down between the hands, chin is out, feet are lifted if that feels all right. Bring those hands back. Perhaps we clasp the hands, lifting away from the tail. So all of these are subtle compression and extension poses, purifying, releasing built up toxicity in the body. Release hands. Hands by the rib cage. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale through cobra. Excuse me. Inhale through cobra. Snug those elbows in as you rise. Inhale through cobra. Hook the toes under, send your tail to the sky. Pedal from foot to foot. Inhale through the crown of the head. Exhale, audible sigh. 2 more. 1 more time. I'm going to lift that left leg up to the sky now. Open that left hip. That left hand's going to stay at about 11 or 11:30 on the clock face. That right hand is going to sweep out. I'm going to bring that left foot down. Bring that right hand out in front. Switch legs. There's that thing. I just took you on a little detour. Now we bring that right hand out to 3 o'clock. Opening that hip. Feeling how the whole front line of that right hip is opening. The crown of the head is weighing heavy. Press through that left hand, bring that right hand back, square the hips. Right knee comes into the belly, the chest, the nose, the brow, whatever works. Send that leg back up to the sky. Bring that knee back into the brow. Hold it, rounding upward. And then here we just lift up and step the foot through. If you need to support it, give the weight to the left hand, bring that foot through. Inhaling here, lengthening through the crown. I use that back leg to spring load just a bit. I inhale and rise up, bring those arms up skyward. Big inhale here. Again, you might want to bring your hands to your hips. You might want to bring your hands to your rib cage. You might want to tuck that chin in just a bit. There's an energy in the pelvis where that left hip wants to draw forward. That's what we're looking for. We want to feel that the pubis ascends, the sacrum descends, so we keep our pelvis in agreement. Inhale, float arms up. Exhale, bring hands down to either side of the foot. Feel the length of the spine. Inhale, spring load the back foot. Step it on into join. Crown of the head weighs heavy. Inhale, eyes gaze forward, lengthening. Exhale and release. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Exhale, release the hands down and bring hands into heart center. Thumbs rest at the sternum. We just take a moment here to breathe, to receive. Oh, Ishvara, oh, the one that you worship, anyone and everyone who is out there in the world and who knows you well or knows someone who knows you. I offer my hands and my heart. May I do my best to be in service this week. May I serve my fellow human beings. May I serve divinity, this earth, the waters. May I vote with my hands and my heart and my words. May I care for my families. Release the hands down. We inhale, sweep the arms up and above the head. Full inhale. Exhale, release. So we cascade down. Send the tail back. Crown of the head releases. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, step the right leg back. Inhale, lengthening out. We rise in and up. Reaching arms up skyward. Go ahead and twist into that bent front leg. Here we go. Feel that length in the arms. Release the arms down. Inhale, lengthen through both legs. Exhale, melt the hands down either side of the foot. Send the tail to the sky. We're going to take a little detour here. Inhale in and through plank pose. You can touch your knees down or lower down to 90 degrees. Push it up. Send your tail back into down dog. Inhale in and through plank. Do that again. Lower down, yogi style. Push up, push it on up. Send your tail to the sky. One more as such. In and through plank. Lower down, press it on up. Tail to the sky. You got it. Right foot grounds, left foot floats. Left hand out. It's what we call 9 o'clock. Opening that hip, head is heavy. Left hand comes right back out. Square the hips. Inhale, bring that knee into the brow, round the spine. Send it back up. Snug it all the way in. Rise to the fingertips if you'd like, and then reach that foot out in front. Inhale, come all the way in and up, ascending, arcing up and back. This time, take the hands down and behind the body, interlace and open through the heart. Just another little detour. You can swallow here. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, exhale, bring that right foot in to join your left. Crown of the head releases. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, release the crown. Inhale, float the arms skyward. Exhale, release the arms down and along the sides and in and through, up through heart. Soften through the knees. Inhale, take arms skyward. See how we send the buttocks back first. That keeps the sacrum in alignment. Crown of the head releasing. No need to fully extend those knees. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, send your left leg back. Inhale, as you're ready, rise on up. Take those arms up skyward. Exhale, we rotate. Bend that left knee, turning into that right side. Release the arms down. Inhale, lengthen through both legs. Exhale, bring the hand down on either side of that right foot. Inhale, we step back into downward facing dog. We float the right leg up to the sky. Let that right hand come on out to 3 o'clock. Feel how that right hip is opening. Bring it back in and through, squaring. This time we move it in through plank, lower down, 90 degrees, push it on up. Send your tail to the sky. Inhale in and through plank, lower down 90 degrees, push it on up. Back into down dog. One more just like that. You can always drop your knees. Tail to the sky. Inhale, float right leg up. Exhale, right foot steps through. Snug in the knee to the brow. Send it back up. Rise to the fingertips and step that foot all the way through. Hands to the crest of the hips. We rise up, raise the arms, inhale. Exhale in this way, bring those hands down onto the earth. Inhale, open through heart center here. Exhale, step through. Crown of the head releases, back of the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale and release. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Exhale, release the arms down in and through heart center. Take 3 full long breaths here. Inhale, crown of the head. Exhale, open the mouth. Inhale. One more time, inhale. Nice work. We're going to open our feet just a bit here and take a classical practice that's part of a pranayama practice. Reach the hands down to the knees. I'm just going to turn and face you so you see what's going on here. So as we're here, I ground and root through the hands. I inhale, draw the breath in and up to the crown of the head. Exhale, I'm going to blow the breath out, round the spine. Inhale to the crown of the head. Exhale, blow the breath out. One more like that. Round, blow the breath out. Now I inhale, cough aggressively. Inhale. Empty it all the way out. Dredge it up. Inhale. Inhale, hold the breath in. Tuck the chin. Navel center draws in. Hold the breath in. Hold the breath in. Hold the breath in. Exhale, I let the arms release. I take a moment here. Soften through the knees. Bring the heels of the hands to the base of the thighs. Support, lengthen through the spine. Press and rise up. All the way up to standing. Step to the top of your mat again. Remember, you can break at any time. You can turn up the volume or turn the volume down as you need. Hands coming in through heart center. Just going to circle back to those 5 great devotions. Reminder of the ways in which that we offer our gratitude, devote our life force, our time, our energy to our families and ancestors, to our fellow human beings, to our teachers, to the plants and animals and natural world, and to the divine in and of and through itself, in all ways, always. The truth of the matter is we don't have to know how to do those things. We just need to keep purifying our own physical vessel so that life and light and life force may pulse through us. And if we keep venturing and being on the lookout for what relaxes us into our own hearts, it will be known how we make such sacrifices, how we devote ourselves. We release the arms down. We inhale now and take those arms up skyward. We're going to bring our hands right into the crest of the hips. Tuck the chin gently, draw the head back ever so subtly, and feel how that zips up the low belly. So do that again. Just relax out of it, and then let the chin, it's like a Grolsch bottle. It's a beer bottle. A bottle that has one of those, or an old canning jar that has that latch down. The chin goes out a little bit, draws down, and then back. As it comes back, feel how that zips up the space between your pubic bone and your navel center. Whoo! It activates that low belly. So energy just came in and up. That's the nature. Like you're pressure cooking your own body in this way. We ground through that left leg. It's just subtle. It's not something that someone would see in your head position. You just know it's happening. Because what happens in this world and in our lives is we're like, what's happening out there? What do I gotta do? And we get ahead of ourselves. And this begins the journey of this. And this begins the journey of this. And then eyes go down. And then we fall forward. And then we need a cane. And then we live our lives here. Right? Instead, we want to keep this essential energy in the front line of our body and our heart centers erect, connected skyward, connected to the earth. So we stay wide open. This creates a channel for life force to move through. And it all starts at the base in our feet and in what we do at the crown of our head in our eyes. Where you look, how do you devote this fire energy of the eyes? The eyes are the sense organ of fire. Feel how that lifts up the belly, awakens internal digestion. Heart center open, ground. Through the left foot, float the right knee in and up. We take the right toes and turn them out gently. So the knee and the toes turn out. Then we bring that leg back. We're just going to push it back. Bring the knees closer together. Push it on back. Bring the knees closer together. Push it on back. So balance and strength happening here in the outer line of the pelvis. Pressing and releasing. Pressing and releasing. Pressing and releasing. It's subtle. That's it. Now we're going to bring that knee in and up. And we let this leg go anywhere. It's an exploration. What is it that you want to do to find balance? How is it you find balance? If you lose your balance, no problem. You're just exploring balance on this base leg, however you want to do so. We bring both feet down, pedal through both feet, bring the hands to the small of the back, right above the sacrum, and just shake the skin and musculature down. In doing so, in shaking the skin and musculature down, we're just waking up the nerve endings again. We're creating spaciousness where everything wanted to grip. The buttocks wants to grip when we don't feel as though we're in balance. So just being aware of that. We ground now through the right leg. Find our weight rooted through that right foot and lift that left knee in and up. Hands at the crest of the hips. See how the chin wants to come out just a little bit? It just curves in and lifts us up. It just curves in and lifts us up. We feel how the low belly ascends. We turn the toes out, the knees out. We bring that foot back. We press back. Knees come closer together. We press back. Knees come closer together. We press back. Knees come closer together. That's all. That's the whole show. Pressing on back, bring it in. Pressing on back. You're awakening the outer line of the pelvis. Draw that knee in and up. Eyes track out, soften through your eyelashes. Play with balance here. As you blink, perhaps you might blink like a camel. Slow, thick eyelashes. Exploring, expressing, feeling for anything and everything. Notice how you may be able to stay and balance on this foot longer than you would if your body was asked to simply stay there in one stationary position. It's still balance. It's balance in motion. Release the feet. If you fall, you're gonna fall. Release the pelvis here. This time, ground through the feet, soften through the knees, even into the shoulders. Feel the body just way heavy down, 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 down. All the way, all the way, all the way. Nice work. And release. Roll shoulder heads. Up, back and down. Up, back and down. Up, Back and down. We bring our feet to the top of the mat. We bring our hands together at our heart center. We are fully warmed up. Hands at the heart. Sending the arms down along the side body. Inhaling, sweeping arms up and above the head. Full inhale. Exhale as you're ready. Reaching, cascading down. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, we'll send the left leg back first this time. Sole the left heel to the earth. That right knee tracks somewhere around the second and third toe. You just want to feel for the most comfort you can find in that right knee. We're going to rise on up. Bring the hands to the crest of the hips. Most important is that you feel the three corners of the back foot connected. Inner and outer line of the ball of the foot, heel of the foot, and the arch of the foot feels lifted. The toes of that front foot are spread, and the knee is not cocking into the inner line. You feel it moving, sweeping forward and out. We feel the low belly lift. We feel the sacrum descend. There's an energy that's happening here. This left hip does not need to be cranked forward. Just let it be what it may. Let it be where it may. Float the arms up. Inhale. As you're ready, go ahead and open into Warrior Two or something of it. That back foot becomes parallel with the back edge of your mat. Arms reach out long. There you go. Navel center draws in and up. Spine is vertical. What wants to happen when we're untrained or when we're away from practice for a while is the belly wants to throw out like this. I'm going to invite you to bring everything back in. Send the tail down. There's energy rising in and up the front line. There's a cascade of energy down the back body. Sweep that left arm back. Reach that right arm up and over the head. Inhale. Exhale. Bring that hand down to the earth on the inside of the right foot. Left arm rises. Mira. Sunshine. No more rain. Here comes the sun. Take that arm up and over the head. Feel how the belly and the heart center sweep up and out. Inhale, left arm rises up to the sky. Left hand's going to come down. We're going to walk the right foot to the outside just a little bit and roll to the ball of the left foot. Release the left knee down. Ideally, see how long this thigh is. I want the weight to be in front of or above the kneecap. I walk the arms out off the corner of this mat. I can keep those toes hooked under, no problem. I might be able to lower down to my elbows. This right foot remains fully grounded. It's easy to sort of fall to the pinky edge. We could do that, but for this particular practice, I'm just inviting you to keep that foot grounded down. There it is. As we're ready, we're going to walk those hands back up. Keep the back toes hooked under as they are. Lengthen through this front heel. Drag the leg back. Sit back as you're able. Take the right hand to the pinky edge of that foot and reach forward. If this is too much on any level, you can simply be higher and be right here. You don't have to sit back on that heel. That's up to you. I'm working the underside of this left foot. I'm lengthening through my spine. I'm broadening through the sacrum, lifting up through the low belly, reaching out through the chest, keeping the heart center as open as I may, and then I'm coming over that right leg. I walk those arms out nice and long. I hook through those back toes, and I send the tail to the sky. Crown of the head weighs heavy. Come in and through plank pose. You can lower all the way down to your belly if you so choose, or you can come here and take 5 yogi style push-ups. That's your call. The strength in that upper body is key to posture. Down dog, knees, belly, heart. You can always touch the knees down. Once you get those yogi style push-ups in your body, they don't go away easily. That's the beauty of it. We'll reach those hands back along the buttocks and open through the heart center here. Inhale, ascending. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, ascending. Church bells. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, ascending. Exhale, releasing. I'm going to bring those hands by my ribs. Walk my legs one at a time out long, just to lengthen through my sacrum and my low belly. And I'm going to lift both feet up. I'm going to use my hands and press into my fingertips. I'm going to walk my left hand out long, and then my right hand out long. I'm high on the fingertips. Feet lifted, high on the fingertips. I like to have the big toes touching and broaden through the heels as a way in which to know that I am accessing balance in the lift of my legs. I'm going to open my legs, bring them back together. I'm going to release down to my forearms. Lift the belly, open the chest. Release down. Hands slide back by the ribs. Inhale, open through the heart center. Hook the toes under and send the tail to the sky. Crown of the head weighs heavy. Rise high to the balls of the feet. Release the knees down. Lower down to the forearms and interlace the fingers. Now my palms are not pressed tightly together. There's a space of a grapefruit or so between my hands. My elbows are approximately shoulder width apart. I just don't want them splaying broadly. So here I am opening through heart center, belly is long, and I'm going to send my tail to the sky. Crown of the head weighs heavy. I'm going to simply step my right foot a little bit closer and look out to my thumbs. The pinky edges of my hands are pressing down. I send my left leg up to the sky. This is it. That's the pose right there. Lengthening, reaching up. If I want, I might float, 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 float. Head is not touching down. I'm on my forearms. Release both feet, broaden the knees. Settle down, let the brow touch down. My arms can go wherever they feel best. I can turn the head one way or another if that feels like something I'm longing for. So something of a dolphin pose. We're just exploring that dolphin with a split in the sky. It's a practice and a preparation for a subtle inversion. If the head's in one direction, just go ahead and turn it and take 3 to 5 breaths in the other direction. Otherwise, you can shift your pose, your position just a bit to get a little bit of a uniquely different way of moving. From here, I'm going to bring my hands under my shoulders, press and rise up. I'm going to take my hands back by my knees. See how this works, to go ahead and press into the fingers or into the knuckles and rise to the tops of my feet and then release my knees down. So I'm giving myself some strength in my feet and in my core. Use more of the core as you drive up, and then perhaps you'll find you can press, hop, land on the right side of your feet. Press, hop, land on the top side of your feet. You gotta use the core. It's all here, it's all belly. Whoop, whoop. Sound effects serve you well. Then we're just going to go ahead and come here onto our feet. Stand on those feet, bring the hands to the hips. See if you might draw energy in and up through the base. Eyes track out. You're close to the earth. If you fall, you don't have far to go. As you're ready, float the arms up. Inhale. You can bring your hands to the earth if you prefer. Otherwise, here we inhale, exhale, rise. Top of the mat. We're going to take that other side. Ground through the feet, circle through the pelvis. Ashwini Mukha Pranayama, one of my favorite pranayama practices, breathing and energy breath practice, is the horse face practice. And that's where you simply inhale, exhale, inhale. One more like that. For the exact same reason the horse does it, to move the energy. They walk, they start their walk, they're walking along, you give them a little, you ask them for a little bit more, and all of a sudden they're just clearing it out, cleaning it up. We do the same. Hands at the heart center, send right down and out the body on the exhale. Inhale, take those arms up and above the head. Exhale, cascade down, crown of the head releases back and the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, we take that right leg back, swivel that right heel to the earth. We inhale, rise on up. So opposite leg, we float the arms up here. Inhale. Just feeling into it. Again, that front knee tracks over second and third and fourth and fifth toe. We're just feeling that openness. There's no deep compression happening in this back hip. You want to feel that there's a lightness, a fluidity in that pelvis all the time. Your back foot, you feel how the inner and outer line of the arch of the foot, like the ball mound behind the big toe and the ball mound behind the pinky toe, and the center-ish aspect of the heel are grounded as the arch lifts. There's that inhale. Exhale, as you're ready, you're going to open that right foot. Pinky edge of the back foot lines up essentially with the back line of the mat. We let those arms reach out long. The spine is vertical, the arms are horizontal, the chin draws in and down. We draw this right arm back along the body and we take that left arm back and up. Inhale. We feel into this here, not collapsing at all into that back leg, remaining elevated. Inhale, then we exhale, that left hand comes to the inner line of that left foot. Right arm rises skyward. Right arm reaches up and over. We rotate, heart center spiraling up and out. We breathe here and ground. Chin still tucks just a bit. We can always swallow. Inhale, right arm rises up. Exhale, right hand comes down to the earth. Roll to the ball of the right foot. Walk that left foot out just a bit. You can release the knee. You can walk your hands out long here. You can release the elbows down. Feel how the heart center is long and in extension. It's not collapsing here. Notice how the body might want to fall to that pinky edge of that left foot. If you do so consciously. Just let this foot line itself up the same way the other side did. We walk up those hands. We shift our weight back. If you want to cushion under that knee, cushion it up. We settle on back. I like to sit back on that heel. Right hand supports, left hand comes to the pinky edge of the foot. You've got options here. If that's just too much, you can be right here. That takes the pressure off the knee and the foot. It's all here. You also can release the top line of that back foot if you choose. Sit back on it, just ensuring that the foot's not sickling out, and then release over the left leg. That's your call, however you want to do it. We walk those hands out long, shift our weight, ground through hands. Step back into downward facing dog. Ears are between your hands. Here's your last set of 5 yogi style push-ups, or just rest yourself right on top of that little belly of yours, lowering yourself down. It's yours. Up to you. If you've done 5 yogi style push-ups or up to that, lower on down. It's a total of 16 push-ups today for those who've been practicing it, just not that we're counting. But it's a great way to condition. Lengthening those legs out long, big toes touch. Bring the hands along the buttocks, lift the heart center here. And bring those hands in, fingers right in by the ribs. Lift the feet, lift the torso, walk the right hand out, lifting up, walk the left hand out, lifting up. Again, you can still swallow. You might bring those elbows down, drag the hands back, lift up through the belly, open the feet, bring them on back together. Open the feet, bring them on back together. Release the feet down. Shift down, hands back by the ribs. Inhale in and up through cobra or upward facing dog. Up and over into downward facing dog. Rise high to the balls of the feet, release the knees down. Need a little support in that low back, we just roll through it here. We're gonna bring our forearms down, interlace our fingers, space between our hands. From this place we press on up. That left foot's gonna come a little closer, this time right leg floats. Just wanna be on that opposite side. Eyes look out. That's the whole pose, or perhaps there's a float, a float, a float, 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 and then we bring the foot on down. Rise high to the balls of the feet, release the knees broadly. Come on down, sit back into a slightly wide-kneed child pose, however you want to take it. Sometimes it's nice to rest the chin. Sometimes it's nice to rise to the elbows and rest the crown of the head and roll. You're just choosing it again and again. Nice work, we shift and rise. Reroot, bring those knees under, slide the hands back. Rise to the tops of the feet, release. Rise to the tops of the feet, release. Perhaps float to top of feet. Right side, top of toes, right side. Then this time we're just gonna stay on those toes. Stay grounded through the left foot, walk your right foot forward. Rise up. Just sit here for a moment. See if you might square your hips a bit more. Heart center open. Hands touch down, shift foot, right foot back, left foot comes forward. As one of my teachers, Key McGraw, says, if it gets weird, you just get out of there. So if your knee's funky, if something's just not feeling like you want it to feel, just get out of there. Do something different. Self-massage, breathe deeply, use the exhale to help relax you, open the chest, like all the ways in which massage your jaw, like where are your weak links? Does your jaw get tight? Do the muscles in your brow get tight? Does your neck and shoulders get tight? Go there, go where you need to go to take this time. If you come to the mat and you push play on a video, and that video is me, and you do 3% of what I do and 97.5% of what serves your body, and it's just different than what I'm doing, but that got you to the mat, guess what? We won. Right? We won. That's what we're going for. How do I come to a way in which that I use these asana practices, I use the poses, the positions, the breath, the awareness to clear the passages so that when I come to my final resting pose, right then and right there, that's where I feel the yoga. From here, I'm going to go ahead and scooch myself down onto my seat and extend my legs out long. I'm going to thump my legs. I'm going to windshield wiper my legs. My favorite, a weird one, is this. Rise up, dump. Rise up, dump. Rise up, dump. One I picked up in India from some old Indian guy, so if you're feeling it, go for it. And then we release ourselves down onto our backside, snug our knees into our heart center. Reach our elbows between our knees, pinky toes connect with the fingers. I lengthen through the spine. Remember that tuck of the chin, we go right there with it. That's it. got options. Here's what I'm going to offer to you. You can bring your feet to the floor. You can raise yourself up, walk the shoulders under the back side of the body, interlace those hands, and take 3 rounds of a gentle bridge pose here. You may do this, or if you're feeling called, you may find a wall, ground your hands close to that wall, maybe a foot from the wall, root through hands, and rise. You can take the same arc in the body by turning toenails to the wall and lengthening through heart center. That's your call. How do you want to take it? How do you want to explore it? Some of you will touch the wall. Others you will find you have the balance and no need to touch the wall. One other option in here is to return to the essence of that balance pose. Raise the legs. Or rise, crown, float gradually. Right. You choose it. However your body's feeling. No rules, just 3 rounds, 5 full breaths. Release our way down, coming out of it, however we come out. It's natural if you feel like you are a single rhinoceros herd in the first aspects of the practice. We then release our tail down, let our toes turn in and broaden through our heels. We rock through the pelvis here. The power of an inversion. Whether you take a subtle inversion here, you rise up to a one-legged dolphin with the leg to the sky, or you slowly find your way into a two-legged dolphin, or you find your way into a headstand, or which I don't recommend as a starting pose by any means. It's suggested that I love the work of Jason Crandall when he says, you should practice headstand for 2 years without ever touching your head before you touch your head down. Now, I don't know that that's all is necessary in that expanse of a practice, but the point is, in a headstand, the pressure is ultimately not on the head. The head's just barely touching down. It's one leg of the tripod. But the beauty of any variation of an inversion is it teaches us, as every pose teaches us something. An inversion teaches us that when life kicks us, as my stepfather used to say, ass over tea kettle, right? Where you slip and fall and all of a sudden you find yourself upside down and scalded and right, everything's not as it was 3 seconds ago. When you practice going into an inversion, you practice training your nervous system when it finds its way slipping off of a curb and finding yourself flat on your back, or you find yourself receiving that phone call or that pink slip or whatever it may be, your nervous system has less reactivity, less frequency of reactivity, less intensity of reactivity, and a much more rapid recovery time. So you return to a baseline of harmony and trust and acknowledgement much more rapidly, and inversion gives you that. So we're going to find our way one more time into the inversion of your choice. Some of you, again, you may want to roll those shoulders under, lift the belly as such. Some of you may find you want to take full wheel pose, turning fingers toward the wall, grounding through both feet, pressing up. Some of you may find you want to take that dolphin pose to the wall, ground through those hands. Slide this guy back out of the way. Ground through my hands as I did in my dolphin, interlacing fingers. Here we were, send one leg up, press that leg all the way to the sky. Both legs rise, my head's not touching. Toes maybe touch the wall or maybe come off of the wall. Right? All of it is just simply a way to practice training the nervous system. And finally, we come to our belly. Reach one arm out long. I'm going to use my opposite hand pressed by my shoulder. Roll over and open the body across the shoulder. Some of us, our head won't be able to touch down. Some of us, we won't be able to stand and let our knees rise up to the sky. We good, we good. We lose you, somebody. Is that you? Sorry. We're known for our grace, we bends and girls. We release and come back to our bellies. Other side. Other side. Good for giggles. So I reach that arm out long, palm down. I take the other hand right by the ribs to use as a push, and then I rotate. Good, yeah. Maybe the head rests down. This is a yummy, yummy, yummy one. If you feel your shoulders don't have the range of motion that they need, or that they did months ago, weeks ago, if you ever had a ski injury or a little bit of a torque injury and you just never quite found your way through it, this is a great way to recalibrate and get that back. And then as we're ready, we're going to release. Coming on to the belly. Scooching on up. Walk those knees forward, cross those legs, ankles over, shift the legs out. We're going to take this pose here. Just a little bit of core strength as we settle down into our final series of poses. I like to get my butt out of the way. So I get my little bony buttons ground down and then reach those legs out here. We're going to come here for the count of 5 slow points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slowly, slowly, slowly lower yourself down. Broaden the knees, knees come in. Shift the tail. I like to tuck the navel center in and sort of scoop the pelvis just to give myself a little massage on the backside. Another favorite at this stage of the game is to just hammer the pelvis a little bit. It can be really light as I'm doing, or it can have a little bit more of a release. All of this is, if you think about the way we tenderize meat, just soften it. Meat is muscle. You are muscle. So we tenderize our own meat. We get the blood flow going. We wake up those nerve endings that maybe are a little sleepy. We let those arms come out to the sides. We bring the left foot a little closer to center. Now I'm going to turn and send my feet in your direction so you can really feel this. So arms to the sides. Left foot is an extension of my spine. Right leg crosses over. So left foot down, right leg crosses over. Now, here I'm going to lift my feet and move my hips to the right. So I'm resting my weight on my left butt cheek. Bring my knees in toward my heart and then release those knees over. I want the knees to be out in front of or parallel to my navel center, not away from my head. Now I'm going to press into my elbows. See, my hands are a little bit like cactus arms. Press into my elbows, and I inchworm my spine toward my left. So I've moved my hips to the right and my spine to the left. Now I rotate and let my right ear weigh heavy down toward the earth. This is all a self-adjustment of keeping your spine vertical, or in other words, it's horizontal, but it's all in one straight line from crown to tail. And now I'm going to release over to that left side. I'm going to bring my right hand to my left hand, all the way over. Uncross my knees here. So now I'm sleeping on my side. I bring my right knee up toward my elbow armpit, open it like a wizard's book. Bring everything back to center. And I'm going to find I'm on the diagonal. It's just the way it happens. Bring my feet down. Scooch everything back into a straight line so I'm in alignment with my mat. Ground through my feet. Roll shoulder blades under. Palms face up. Right foot comes as an extension of the spine. So I just move that right foot a little bit closer. Left knee comes up. Cross it over. I pick up my buttocks, pressing into that right foot. I shift my weight over to the left and let my right butt cheek hold the weight. I snug my knees into my chest and then bring those knees over. I bend my elbows like a cactus arms. Squirm my torso in the direction of the right side, opening palms. Turn the head to the left. So here's the magic of it all. Spine is long. In time, you don't need to memorize the words or the way in which this rotation happens. In time, it simply becomes the way that the body wants to go. I'm going to take that left arm, wrap it all the way over the body, let it rest on that right hand, palm to palm. I just drag my right leg out from under my left. I bring the left knee back into the heart center. I bring everything back to center, and then here I come. I'm going to open myself right on up into my Shavasana. I let my legs reach out wide. I let my arms reach out, so I'm more like a starfish. If I feel that my body needs some sense of alignment here, I can make adjustments, shift from one butt cheek to the other, do a bit of a body stand and find my way. Palms face up, and we take our final resting pose. Allow the corners of your lips to ever so subtly lift. Allow every exhale to support you. Let go of what no longer serves us and feel our mat as an altar, a magic carpet. kindergarten nap mat. And then in your time, with your eyes remaining closed, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Allow your body to shift and squirm. And find your way all the way back to your most comfortable seat, your favorite seat. Planting one more seed of our Pancha Mahayagya's, our 5 great devotions and personal sacrifices for our families and ancestors, for our fellow human beings, for our teachers, for plants and animals in the natural world, and for divinity. Our palms face up, offering our final chant. From fullness all things come, to fullness all things return. Never was there a time, is there a time, would there or could there ever be a time when everything is not in order, whole, full, all right, perfect, imperfectly perfect, as is. Opening your ears and your hearts. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamavevashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti.